Get your films on with the Blurs.
Once an idea has taken hold of the brain, it's almost impossible to eradicate.
Unpacking movies has never been more spot on, woke, fire, and just plain lit.
They are lit all the time.
So if you're unsure whether or not to plop down some cash for a film, check out the Blurs.
When a man with a 45 meets a man with a rifle, the man with a pistol is a dead man.
Brondo's got what plants crave.
It's got electrolyte.
You really only need to hang mean bastards. But mean bastards, you need to hang.
Don't say you weren't warned. Here's Brandon and Jeff.
Hello, welcome to episode 133 of the motherfucking Film Blurs.
53.
Yeah, 153, my bad. Yeah, see, the count's always fucked up. Yo, we
go back in time.
We be fucking up the count every episode. At
Yo.
this point, we're just like, yo, time is a flat circle, baby.
I love how you put fucking up the count like it's The Wire.
Yo, listen. Shh. Stop snitching on my fucking side hustle. AKA, hi, I'm Brandon Norwood, AKA hero protagonist, AKA the true father of Joe, Kanye, and Drake's kids. Yo, Drake, you know why you had to cancel your fucking Australia tour? Because you owe me all that fucking child support money while I was backstroking your baby moms. AKA Poppy Chulo, still sticking Molly in all the women in your life's butt and eating all your jello. How you like that? AKA the Glizzy King. I only eat elite glizzies. AKA Mr. Krusty. Leaving La Vida, Krusty. Living La Vida, Grant. AKA the Lethal Protector. AKA Ezekiel Sims, bad ADR, don't match my mouth. AKA it's Morbin time. AKA Craven with that K. AKA my biggest pet peeve is sports because I don't like seeing grown men sweat on each other. AKA I want a Subaru Outback with mad strippers in the back giving shape-ups. AKA Rough McGruff, blow out your kneecaps and steal your drug money. AKA These Nuts. And AKA B-Wood, the Magnificent. And I'm joined here today, as always, with...
Yellow, this is Jeff Stewart, a.k.a. Uncle Jeffrey, a.k.a. J. Otis Dynamite, a.k.a. Praetorian Jeff, a.k.a. He Who Remains, a.k.a. Penny Ruxpin, a.k.a. Jobu Tupaki, a.k.a. Little Tom, a.k.a. Wait, I forgot, a.k.a. the Black Giovanni Ribisi, a.k.a. Chocolate Tarantino, a.k.a. Ebony Spielberg, a.k.a. the Final Boss. Wow.
And we
it's been
are
a while.
And we are joined here today by Danny O'Neill. Danny, you know what? I'll let you introduce yourself. I don't want to put a tag on what you want to be known as.
That's all right. What I found funny is you guys had all those AKAs, and I was just going to be like, Dan.
Dan from HR?
I'm Dan from HR. Danny O'Neill, a.k.a. Blu-ray Dan, a.k.a. Dan in real life with underscores in each of them, a.k.a. Yo, Rocky Balboa. That's it, man. Physical media master, physical media god. And yeah, I didn't prepare more AKAs than that, man. We were just going to stick with Dan, but you gave me a long period of time to come up with new stuff.
So next time you come on, you just got to add one.
All right, sounds good.
So
sounds good.
We're here today talking about Mickey 17, the new Bong Joon-ho movie. It's been like, 6-7 years since Parasite, and we've been waiting like 4 or 5 years to see this motherfucker, and it's finally here. I'm gonna let you two go first on before we get into a whole plot. Before I break down the plot and give a brief plot synopsis, you two go ahead and give your initial thoughts on this motherfucker.
Danny, guess first.
Oh man, I really enjoyed it. I didn't exactly know what to expect. I feel like going into it, watching the first trailer was different than watching the second trailer. So I wasn't sure exactly what to expect, but I think it was a blast, man. I had a really good time with it. Wacky, fun, comical, action-packed, over the top. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's exactly what I expected, right? And I mean that in all the best ways possible. I knew it was going to be slyly funny, right? But hilarious, not because of the jokes, just because it's so well written. I knew it was going to like have uh these moments of poignancy, but also like extreme violence and like just showing how people are, right. Like it's Bong has always shown us what we are, right.
Hmm.
Just in a way where it's like ha 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 ha, oh shit, I get it, I see it. um I love Pattinson. I love his fucking, he's quickly becoming one of my favorite actors, right.
Hmm.
Because when I first knew about him, when he first came on the scene, it was fucking sparkly vampires, right. It was like, who the
Yeah.
fuck is this guy? Um, and between his work with the Softy brothers, the Batman, and now this, like he is fucking,
Yo,
he's in a treasure,
you
right?
listen. You can't forget Neil because remember in this dynamic, you're the Neil to my protagonist.
Right, there we
So
go.
I won't let you die. We have
Well,
somebody
appreciate
else
that. I
die.
appreciate that. I
We have
appreciate
somebody
that.
else die. Like we both got to be like, yo, listen, the mission's important than everybody in this room. So like, you got to sacrifice yourself so we could save the world.
Yeah. So like just closing out, uh we don't deserve this movie, right? Like the people don't deserve this movie, like general audiences, but it's the movie they need to see, right? Because it is right on target.
Um, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm surprised that a major studio's putting this out on a block. This has blockbuster money. You know what I'm saying? Like this
Right.
is a $115 million movie, and that motherfucker is not making that money back. And I appreciate they're like, yo, listen, we know we're gonna lose money on this motherfucker, but like this speaks to what's going on right now. I think it's a really the reason why it's so funny is because it's so biting. Like you recognize Mark Ruffalo right now as who he's supposed to be. Tony Collette is almost every fucking Karen out right now.
Hmm.
Uh I'll get it more into it later, but there was one scene where I was just disassociating because I was just like, bro, what the fuck? Yeah, Robert Pattinson is doing a crazy ass job here because he's playing so many different versions of the same character. And so when we get down to the two Mickeys, two completely different characters, but
Yeah.
somehow the same, it's
Mm.
nuts. And I like how they both go on arcs, which is crazy. Two different arcs, but they both go on arcs. Yeah, yeah. Just to give a quick synopsis. Mickey Barnes, played by Robert Pattinson, is on the run from a mafia type thing. They made a bad deal with his Stephen Young. I can't remember what's Stephen Young's name.
Timo, I think. Was
Yeah.
his name?
Yeah,
Mm,
he's
yes.
basically a con artist and he always uses Mickey as a human shield. So they both have this idea to jump on this colony to escape paying what they owe to these mob guys. And sadly for Mickey, he becomes an expendable, which is you die, they print you out, you do another dangerous job and die, they print you out. So and you're basically a lab rat at that. So it gets into the morality of this dude dying over and over again, like the abuse just from top to bottom. It's like another class warfare movie because that's what fucking Bong does best is class warfare between because like to me this was like a combination between Okja and Snowpiercer, but I'll be real with you, Okja is the only Bong movie I don't fuck with.
Which is fair. That's the Netflix genre, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I agree with you on that, though. I wasn't a big fan of that one either.
I don't think anyone was.
Because I rewatched Memories of a Murder over the weekend, and I keep forgetting he only has two like really serious, heavy, dark dramas, which is that and Mother. Otherwise, the rest of his movies are like this. They're like, you know, satires on class with other
Hmm.
things going on in them. Uh, yeah, man. I'm really, really shocked by that. This is not that action heavy, and I'm surprised they would give a movie that's not that action heavy this much money to
Right.
to move forward. Like, it has less action than Blade Runner 2049, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, they had to pay for the CGI of those pigs somehow.
Yeah, the creepers.
The creepers, yeah.
Fucking,
Yeah.
I wanted a fucking creeper plushie.
Oh
Honestly.
yeah, because you see Bong on the press tours always playing with one.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I
Oh
want
shoot,
yeah.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah. He was on the Tonight Show with or the Late Show with Stephen Colbert, and he was playing with one while he was doing the interview.
All
Like,
right.
where can I get one of those?
Yeah, you're right. Like this shouldn't have come out, right? Like this shouldn't exist. A heady satire sci-fi movie directed by a artiste who specializes in class warfare. Yeah, $150 million. That's money well spent, especially from Warner Brothers, who can't seem to get anything right.
And that's what's crazy is, like, I was like, the studio with the most unfriendly filmmaker friendly CEO boss. Like, Zavlov to me is not filmmaker friendly. This is coming out. Sinners is coming out. $150 million Paul Thomas Anderson movie's coming out. Like, even I would be sitting at the studio being like, wait, why are we giving PTA 150?
Right? Like Paul Thomas Anderson doesn't know how to spend 150 million. He wouldn't know what to do with it if you gave it to him. And so I want to see what that looks like. But yeah, you're saying Zavlov has constantly proven that he hates movies.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He hates film. So the fact that Mickey 17 especially got through the pipeline, right? So either this movie is going to be really successful or not. There's like no middle ground. It's not going to be like, it's not going to make its money back.
Yeah, because this is
right?
not four, as they call, a 4-quadrant movie
Right.
for everybody. And I don't. It's been so long since Parasite. I don't know if they can recapture the lightning in the bottle that movie was, because that was successful and like
Right.
a phenomenon.
Tremendously successful, yeah.
But like on paper, that shouldn't have been successful. So
Yeah.
maybe they're banking on that.
Yeah.
Right.
hmm At least for initial blowback.
Right.
And I don't think it's going to get that. I don't think it's going to do as well theatrically. I think afterwards it's going to build up a following and a cult following for
Oh,
sure.
yeah,
And
I was thinking that too.
years ago, that's when like physical media would have popped in, and it's like, all right, so we didn't make it back this way, but physical media people are out renting it now, buying it, and then here comes the flow of money, but it's not the same exactly now.
I mean, let's not totally write it off, because Robert Eggers got to make Nosferatu and get final cut on Nosferatu, because the Northmen bricked in theaters, but then they made so much money on the Blu-ray and video on demand. They're just like, oh, we easily went into the black on this motherfucker.
Right. I mean, and this could hit, right? Like
It could.
it's
'Cause there ain't shit out.
enjoyable. Right. It's not shit out, and it's enjoyable all the way through. Even though it's long,
Yeah.
right? It was like 220, something like
Mhm.
that. Like I could see where I could cut it down, but I don't want to, right? That's the testament of like a good movie to me, right? I can see where I could cut down for time, but I don't want to cut down for time because I enjoyed every single minute I was in this world with these people, right? So I hope it hits. I hope it makes so much money that we get to see the continuing adventures of Mickey Barnes on fucking White World.
I could see it, man.
Danny, what are some more thoughts on this? Right, like, so every movie that seems to come out now, we're all like, it's topical.
Yeah.
Right? It's like it felt like they knew this was coming. This political climate we're in. But honestly, it's just we've been dealing with the same types of assholes throughout history, right? So like, what are your thoughts on the not so subtle
Well,
political?
so to piggyback off of what you were saying before, I agree. I guess I didn't realize it as I was watching it, but you're watching the film, and a lot of the stuff is funny, right? Mark Ruffalo's character over the top, and it's like, man, this is crazy. Can you imagine if there was somebody like this? And then you stop for a second, you're like, wait a second, hold on. And yeah, you don't realize that this is actually, it's taken from a lot of what we're going through, what we've gone through, and it is comical in a sense. It's like a joke, and they just put it on screen. And I feel like there's going to be a lot of people. There's going to be an audience who watches it and who's like, "Oh man, it's hilarious," and then they're going to get off there and be like, "Wait, hold on, wait, I don't like this movie. I don't like this
Right.
movie at all," because
Right.
they're,
Like, was he making fun of?
Yeah, man, because that's where I started disassociating is
Yeah.
when they started. They were in the, I guess the departure station where they're trying to board the ship, and everybody's in there with the red hat,
Right.
and they're like, "We love him so much, we love him," and I was just
Yeah.
like, "Holy fuck, man, this is insane."
This is the satire we deserved beyond. What was the one with
Yeah, Don't Look
Leonardo
Up.
DiCaprio?
Yeah,
Don't Look Up,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
This is what we deserve from a kind of star-studded satire about the end of the world,
yeah.
right? Is Mickey 17 versus Don't Look Up, but I digress.
One thing I do like is how well defined the relationships are between characters. Like immediately, like I do like, and me
Right.
and Danny, we talked about this. I like how like immediately Mickey sees Naomi Aki. He's like, "Oh, she's hot," and then she looks at him. He's like, "Yeah, come over here."
Right.
And then they immediately become a couple, like no questions asked. Because normally it'd be some build up there, and they're
Some
just like, "Yo,
courtship.
we're stuck on this spaceship. Like, let's just fuck it."
And I
Right.
think we all felt it too, because when that camera panned over to her, I think all of us felt what Robert Pattinson's or Mickey 17, his character did too. It was like, "Oh, whoa,
Yeah.
all right, who's that?"
Yeah. And that's the artistry of this film, right? Like it cuts through all the like, as long as it cuts through all the bullshit emotionally, right? Like it gets to the heart of being human, right? There's no explanation beyond them explaining the science, right, which is hilarious in itself.
Mhm.
There's no real explanation of these connections and stuff like that. You just know who these people are. It feels lived in. It feels like you are part of it instead of watching it. You get it?
Yeah,
Get what I'm saying?
I mean,
Mhm.
one of the things too I do like about that dynamic between Naomi Aki and Mickey is like she's the warrior and he's the wimp, where normally it'd be the other way around. And she don't even judge him like that. She's just like,
Right.
"Yo, listen, you just ain't built for that, and I love you for it." It's crazy.
Right. And like the fact that that she loves every
Yeah.
Mickey.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
because there's a
Yeah,
tender
yeah,
scene
it's
near
true.
the end where she's with one of the versions of Mickey dying, and I'm like, damn, this is kind of heartbreaking. Even though we know this nigga's gonna be
Right.
reprinted again, it just sucks.
Right. And like
Reprinted. I just got the visual. Oh man.
And even that was funny because there's a couple of
yeah,
times where they're just doing fuck all, and my man just falls out of the printer right on the floor.
The table wasn't up
Yes.
against the.
because it's so like it shows the mundanity of like this technology, right? It's like making a photocopy. It falls out on the like, if you don't have the tray extended, that shit falls all over the place.
I was telling Danny too. I was just like, if I was Mickey and the other chick showed up, I would be like, let's work something out. Especially when we now have two Mickeys running around, and she's like, "Yo, listen,
Right.
there's two of them." So like, yeah,
I want.
I'd be
want
like, "Yo,
both.
listen." I pull her aside, be like, "Yo, look, let's work this shit out." Like, I was like, both of you are too hot for me not to not fuck. So like,
I love the most awkward menage a trois scene ever put on film because everyone's always like, "Yeah, man, if there were two of me or whatever like that, or if there's two of her, this is gonna be awesome." It's like, is it gonna be awesome?
see,
Is it?
Mickey,
for one of
yeah,
those
Mickey,
people.
Mickey 17 was in his feelings. I'd be more like Mickey 18, where it's like, it's just another version of me. Ain't like it's a different dude. So like I'm doing the pyramid. I'm doing the Eiffel Tower with myself. So
Right. It's almost like masturbating.
yeah,
Right? It's
yeah,
masturbating. He was
yeah, man. It's just like,
masturbating.
it is what it is.
She was in heaven though. She goes, "This is great," or "This is
I mean,
awesome."
imagine if the roles were reversed and we were her and there's two chicks that we were with. We'd be like, oh shit, this is amazing. It's like having twins.
But see, I'd rather have clones than twins, because twins is like, well, you're siblings, right? Like you gotta say
I'm
mom
nasty
and dad,
because
right?
I don't think about that shit. I'd just be like, yo, listen, I got two.
Yeah, it's like that's it's like this is incest adjacent, right?
Well, you're not
Like,
related to them.
right? But no, for them it's incest.
Yo, stop
adjacent.
planting
It's like,
ideas in this shit.
do
Now
I
you ruin it for other people, bro. And you might ruin it for us in the future. God damn. Hush.
Don't tell people.
I'm just saying these are the moral quandaries that Mickey 17 brings up.
Oh man. One thing I talked about, because Matt messaged me last night on Instagram. He's just like, if they could reprint Mickey, why wouldn't they reprint food? I'm like, bro, who gives a fuck? That's not the point, all right? The point is not if they're reprinting food. Like, the point is these people are stupid and they're abusing their power. Plus, they're using all this other fake food on Mickey to see if it could work anyway.
Yeah.
Food and human beings are
I never
completely different, bro.
Yeah, I never thought about the food, but like the only thing you could reprint an animal, right? But you couldn't reprint food,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. That shit don't
Because
bother me.
but I didn't even think about that.
Yeah,
but it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
to me, right?
yeah. That's
Like,
something I think about if I don't like a movie, because then I'm just like, well, this is another fucking dumbass thing. But this movie's smart enough where it's just like all these people, except for Naomi Aki and the soldiers, are fucking stupid from top to bottom. Everybody's fucking stupid.
right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right. That's why they, got on the fucking space
so
shuttle
like,
in the first place. But yeah, like the only way to reprint food is to reprint the animals, and they don't have the infrastructure capacity to keep reprinting animals.
Because you only had one.
Because you have
they
to
only
keep
had
feeding
one
the
expendable,
animals.
and that was Mickey. Like, they didn't have any other expendables.
Right.
And then,
Yeah.
like, do we know if it can reprint animals or food? Probably not. Like,
yeah. But this is the question that, like you said, if I don't like a movie, I'll come up with all the holes.
Yeah.
I can overlook this. Like if that's the one thing, if that's the one sin that this movie commits, I'm fine with that, because the rest of it, like I said, even though it's super long, like not super long, but even though it's long, I wouldn't change a fucking
yeah, because
thing.
I have a feeling, like, I like the movie, and the more I think about it, the more it went from like a 7 to now an 8. I have a feeling like once I see this again, I'll probably like it more, because this feels like a movie that'll play better on a rewatch, like Interstellar.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, a rewatch, and honestly,
Yeah, because
with
I'm
people,
I already booked
right?
my IMAX ticket. I'm excited to see it on like a really, really big screen.
Yeah, and it played well enough in the screening room, so I can only imagine what it's gonna feel like and look like, projected proper in IMAX and everything like that. And let's go to production design. The money's on the
Yeah.
screen,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Right, like they spent the time with all of the CGI, with all the practicals and everything like that. It doesn't look like it was, it wasn't marveled to say.
Post production wasn't rushed, because every Bong, like he says in the Q&A that me and Danny went to, he storyboards every movie
Mhm.
meticulously, because his camera's constantly moving and the actors need to know which spot to hit, so that way the camera can keep moving, because that's all of his movies. It has all
Right.
these complicated camera movements. So like, he sent all the visuals in early and like, yo, this is what I want, this is what I need. How did you guys feel about the design of the creeper? And another question with that, when they were first introduced, did you really think Mickey was going to be eaten by them?
I mean,
I
I go ahead, Danny.
Yeah, I mean, I did think so. Yeah, I mean, I thought that big dude was coming, and that was it, man. That's what she said. I thought that. I mean, for real though. I mean, that the big creeper's is on his way, and then he blacks out. I mean, I guess that's kind of. I guess I didn't really think of it. I stopped thinking about the trailers and realizing that there'd be multiples and stuff like that. So, because I was just kind of sucked into the film. Um, love the design of the baby creepers. The big one, you know. It's Okja-esque for me. I wasn't a big fan of the those pigs in Okja. Didn't like how it looked. So I mean, I could have done personally. I would have liked it a little different, but I wasn't. I didn't hate it. I didn't stop and think about it.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't think that Mickey 17 was going to get eaten at all, just because, the trailer, but also story wise, how is this gonna, like
Yeah.
he's literally Mickey 17.
Hmm.
This thing can't eat him because we got to have him for the rest of the movie,
Yeah.
right? But also, it's that whole entire colonizer aspect of this movie.
Yeah,
Right?
because like it is Avatar for adults, bro.
It's like Avatar for adults. It is history from all of history from 1300s up until last week, right? When it comes to like, oh, let's undiscovered. Oh, there are things here. They must be evil.
Yeah.
Let's fucking kill them in the
Hmm.
most
Yeah, Mark
horrible
Ruffalo
way
straight up's
possible.
like they're roaches. They look like croissants that are roaches.
And like the creature designs, they are ugly cute, like fucking like a girl at last call, right? Like,
We can make it work.
Oh, she ugly cute.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
Right, like you're not gonna wifey it up,
But she's
but
still cute.
right, like look, we'll have dinner, right? So that's how I sum up the design
Fair
of
enough.
the
Fair enough.
creepers. Yeah.
Man, I just blanked out. Sorry. Y'all go.
No problem.
He's been thinking about the girl at last call.
Yeah. I mean, I really don't have much to say. Like, I'm pleasantly surprised. I'm not even going to say I'm surprised, right? Like, I knew this was going to be a special movie, right? And like you said, on subsequent rewatches,
Hmm.
honestly, it's gonna get better,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? This is one of those rare movies where I feel confident suggesting it to my friends. Like some movies, like, oh man, you need to see this. You're gonna love it. But there's always that fear that they're gonna be like,
Right.
"Meh." Right. With this one, I actually don't have that fear. I think anyone I suggest this to is going to
See,
enjoy
you run with a better
right?
group of people
But if
than
you're
I do.
yeah. If you're a redhead,
No, not even
this
that.
is
It's just
gonna-
like, a lot of people who I know who are in the movies, they're gonna be like, yo, this shit was boring.
how is it boring? It kept moving. It was.
I mean,
constantly moving.
well, I think it depends on the person. Because I think some people are just in things for action. They just want action, and it's not. Sometimes it's just not all about that. So it's not going to hit
Right.
on every mark. But go into it with an open mind. You have a good time. There's a lot of fun to be had here.
Yeah, I mean, it's a slapstick sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
The
right?
thing I'm really floored by, besides the social commentary and how that's so fucking relevant, is the fact that Mickey 18, I love his arc. He starts off like, oh man, this motherfucker's alive. I gotta kill him. So by the end of the movie, he's just like, you know what? My one thing I want to do is protect 17, because 17, he's so innocent, and like, this dude's gotta
Right.
go. He's like, I'm the guy, and 17 needs to do live for both of us.
Right.
Hmm.
Right.
I want to speak briefly on Pattinson, and I was shocked that even the director was like, I wasn't sure if he was versatile enough, and I'm thinking,
Right.
how?
Right.
look at everything
Right.
that he's put out. Now, yeah, I'm with you. When I first, I don't want to say discovered, but when I first saw Robert Pattinson, right, in Twilight, I was like, oh God, what is
Right.
this, right? And it just goes to show you that roles I mean, they don't define you, right? It's just writing. When I saw that, I don't think I knew him from anything else. I know he was in Harry
Yeah.
Potter, right? Um, I don't know him from like anything else. And then I saw A24's The Rover.
Yeah,
Have
I've
you
seen
guys
The
seen The
Rover.
Rover?
That's
That is the
Yeah.
first time
yeah.
him and Guy Pearce, and I was watching him, and I was like, by the end of the movie, I was like, whoa, wait a second, that's the dude from Twilight. This guy can
Yeah.
act. And then it went from Rover, and then they put out Good Time, and I was like, yo, Good Time is fantastic.
Yeah.
Great difference in characters. And then I forget the other movie he did with
Yeah, I was
Charlie
about to bring
Hunnam,
that
I
up.
think.
That because it's James
Right?
Gray. He's one of my
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
favorite filmmakers. Lost City of Z.
Yes. Yes.
That
That's
is one
it.
of the
That's it.
best adventure
And
movies
And
ever made. Yeah,
I
yeah,
still
nigga,
haven't
you
seen it.
need to see
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
shit.
It's good. Dude, and then the
Yes,
lighthouse,
yes.
you know what I mean?
Right.
And it went from that Twilight guy to just hit after boom, 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 boom. And I'm like, yo, this guy is fantastic, man. He's great. So the fact that, I mean, in the Q&A, he was even like, well, I saw him as Batman, and didn't he say he still wasn't exactly
Yeah,
convinced? And I was
and it
like,
was the
what?
lighthouse that
You know,
convinced
like,
him.
what are
He's
you
like, he
talking
could play
about?
Mickey 17, but could he
Yeah,
play Mickey 18? And him playing Mickey, seeing him in the lighthouse, he's like, oh, he could play 18. I'm like, shouldn't that be the opposite? Like, you see
yeah, exactly.
Right.
Because he
Right.
was more goofy. He was more Mickey
Lighthouse,
17
right?
in Lighthouse and Mickey
Yeah,
18 in
yeah.
Batman.
Right.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, if anything, Mickey 18 is more like his character in Good Time,
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
yeah.
Yo,
Hmm.
this is what I'm saying. Yo, Bong has a weird sense of humor. Like he brought that to the Q&A and had us rolling and dying of laughter. But like, I really did like um when he was just like, uh, we had the worms and like we had people like. I thought of like, what's the meanest thing an American would say about these the creepers? He's like, oh, croissant, because they think it's French and foreign. I was like, damn, my man knows us now after making, because this is his third.
Well,
Yeah,
clearly he knows
this is
us.
his third English.
You could see he had a great time with it, right? He was laughing. Jeff, we at the end of or not even at the end, but during the Q&A, he was just having a blast. He was laughing about the choices, the decisions, and then
Right.
at the end he hops off the stage like a little kid. He just had a great time. I loved
Well,
it, man.
that's someone who's like enjoying his life
Yeah,
and
man.
enjoying his success, but also like he's living the dream, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
Like I was talking to someone the other day, and this is how I'm gonna reframe my whole entire 2025. Uh, they said most people are like, I have to do X, I have to do Y, I have to do Z, right?
Hmm.
Uh, no, you get to do these things, right?
Mm.
You get you get to do X, Y, and Z, right? You have the opportunity, and Bong
It's a good way of
gets
looking at
to
things.
make his movies and gets to get on a stage
Hmm.
and talk about his craft with people who appreciate his work, right? Like that's fucking like I want him to be my spirit animal for the rest of the
Yeah.
year. I want to hop off a fucking stage,
It's
right?
it's the way you look at things, man. It's all just the way you look at things, man. It really
Right.
is.
Yeah. And so this movie is topical, but is universal, right? This is the same bullshit we've been dealing with since the first caveman bashed the second caveman in the
I
back of the
want
head,
to definitely
right?
now though read the novel, because Bong during the Q&A did
Yeah.
say that the characterization of Mickey and Timu are completely different and they're in like sort of different roles.
Mm.
The book's called Mickey 7 and the movie's called Mickey 17.
Right.
And not during the Q&A, but during a different interview, Bong did say, he was like, 7 wasn't enough. I wanted to kill Mickey 17 times. I was like, all right, fair enough, man. And this does have a sequel, because I was
Look,
And
Googling it. I was like, oh, there is a sequel to this book.
oh
So
wow.
hopefully, fingers crossed that this is
Mm.
good. So maybe the sequel can get made.
Let's see. Didn't I think he also said Tony Collette's character
Yeah.
wasn't in the
Tony
book,
Collette's character's
right?
not in the book,
Yeah.
and
Right.
Mark Ruffalo's character is a tad bit different. And I was like, I know where you made the adjustments.
Yeah. I'm glad he added her
Right.
for sure. I'm glad he added her because
Yes.
Tony Collette's so good. She's so good, and
With the fucking sauces.
yeah. Taste the sauce. I mean, it's just. I mean, she's also so damn versatile in every role. But I like how Ruffalo's character just like he looks to her for approval. You know what I mean? And she's just yeah, keep going, yeah, more. You know, it's great.
And I Ruffalo is unapologetically portraying
Oh yeah.
the Cheeto.
Yeah.
Right? Like there's and that was a brave
Well,
choice. Right?
I mean, he's already put his word out there, I guess, about how he feels. So you know what I mean? I guess he was. I don't even know if he realized that that's what he was
past 3
playing.
elections, my
while
man
he
has
was
made
doing
it
it.
clear. He's like, yo, fuck this guy. Every time.
Yeah. So he went like it's almost parody, right? It's almost Saturday Night Live, but not quite. He's like
Yeah.
different enough.
One thing I want to talk about, this is a little spoilerly, is the red button motif, because I didn't even pick up on this until Bong said this during the Q&A. And Danny, did you pick up on it? I don't think you did either.
No, so I didn't pick up on it until we were walking out of the theater about how there's a lot of use of buttons throughout the entire movie, and I guess what they could stand for. And he didn't really talk much about what they stand for exactly.
He did.
But he was so
He did.
Go ahead.
He was like, the red button is Mickey's like fear and guilt, and that's him getting over it. Because I guess we might as well just say it, like the pool of blood on Toni Collette's hand in the nightmare sequence, it forms a button. That didn't even pop up in my thoughts while that was happening. Like I just thought, and that's not CG, Jeff.
And it was
Yeah.
It was practical. It was a practical effect. They had something in her hand where it would just ooze out and come into a circle. It was really cool. And yeah, I mean it's true. And I think I was saying this also, and I guess I mean we're already talking some spoilers, but it's like in the beginning of the movie, because he's so screwed up from childhood about that red button in the car, that red button in the beginning is what I guess holds him back from who he wants to really become and holds him back in life. And at the end of the movie, he finally presses the button that he was so afraid of pressing, and it lets him, like, it releases him, it lets him free.
Look, I didn't even make those connections till just now.
Because everybody tells him like, "Hey, Mickey, press the button," and he presses the button, and then his former torture is finally over. Like the printing machine just.
Yeah, I mean, they had at the end they had the 17 and 18 button. Tony Collette's, you know what I mean?
And they're two different
like playing
colors.
Around.
And now I'm thinking about it. I don't want to say
One's
who's
white,
red
one's
and
red.
who's not,
One's
but
red.
I was just like, "Oh, that's smart."
Yeah.
Okay.
He was so happy when the guy who was doing the Q&A, the host, brought it up. He's like, "You're the first person to bring up the button."
He's the only person who's gotten to see it twice. Because everybody else has only seen it like
well, that's true too. That's true.
Yeah, if I saw it twice too, I'd say something about the fucking button.
Why there's so many buttons? I didn't even realize. I guess I don't even know what I was gonna say. I just blanked out also.
But you mean that button even goes to
It's not coming
when
back,
he's killed, right? Because when they throw him down, it's a circle, like it's a circle within a circle, and it's red lava. So like, it's in there throughout the entire fucking thing.
Yeah, I definitely think for sure that this is going to need multiple watches, and I do
100%.
like again at first once I finished seeing it, I was like, I really enjoyed it. I just don't know how much I enjoyed it, but I liked it a lot. But I know that watching it again, there's so many parts. I mean, I watched the trailer right before I came on here again just to refresh my memory, and I was like, I really like this, man. I like that, and the slapstick comedy between the two Mickeys, everything about it, man. I'm looking forward to watching it again. Really,
I actually,
as he's right,
right,
I know.
like, with no hesitation.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, no, like I want to see this again, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm not dreading seeing this again. I'm actually looking forward to seeing this with other people, right? And now I want to be the smartest motherfucker in the room. Like, did you notice the button?
Did Did you know that wasn't CGI?
Which is wild.
Right,
That's
it's
not
like-
CG because I thought it was CG because it looked so shiny, but I guess it was just the lighting, the way it looked in the light. That's crazy. That's fucking crazy. Fucking
Great.
Bong, man.
Yeah. I mean, I got nothing. I
Yeah.
love this movie, honestly. Like, going from last year where it was a
No,
rough
last year.
start.
Well, yeah, we had like a rough start, and then we had like 2-3 months that were good, and then we ended again pretty fucking poorly.
Right. But like this year, I have like there's been there's hope.
Yeah.
There's been some hope.
I think so. Yeah, we ended the year with Nosferatu at the end last year. This is, I mean, we're in March, so we're not exactly starting the year off anymore. But Mickey 17 is, I think, definitely one of the biggest releases. It's going to be of the year, and I hope it stays in people's brains.
Same.
I really do. And I mean, we got 28 years later coming out soon.
Like, Sinners is coming out. Black Bag is dropping soon.
Yeah.
Fucking, like you said, 28 years. Fucking.
Yeah, I definitely want to say, if you're doing Sinners, if you're looking forward to Sinners, I keep telling this to everybody: do not watch trailer 2. Don't watch anything past the first trailer.
Too late.
Me and Jeff, we had to do a whole press event where we had to watch trailer 2.
But for whoever's listening,
and then we watched the scene from the movie.
I mean, so much spoiled. I mean, stuff that I just didn't even. I don't even know if that's like the extent, right? I'm hoping that, okay, listen, if they showed that much in the trailer, there's a lot more to be shown. But so much was given away that I do not want to know.
Well,
I did not want to
I don't
know.
Danny, this is why I don't know how Jeff does it, but like me personally, and I say this on the show a lot, I usually watch the first trailer and then that's that. But you know what? I will say this.
Yeah.
I went to see Oppenheimer again in IMAX yesterday, and that second trailer is fucking hot on that IMAX. Like when it goes that full 8-story IMAX, I was like, oh no, this is fucking wild. Like I ain't gonna lie.
Right. I mean, I honestly watch trailers for the show anymore. Right. Yeah. Like if it's like Brandon's like, all right, you watch this trailer, or if they send it
depends, because we get 5 trailers.
See, I kind of like I like watching I like to have an idea what I'm going into. So like, you know, I don't, it's hard for me. A lot of people are like, oh, I go into this completely blind. I don't even know what this movie's about. I'm like, I don't really have that much time to go into something that I don't have any interest in. However, you know, you can, I think, see some stuff that you wouldn't normally see. But I think first trailer, yes. But then also first trailers can get it wrong. And it's totally opposite movie than what you think. Sorry,
trailers also do help you understand what you're getting into, because I've had a bad experience. It was one time I was waiting for Jeff to show up to a screening, and I held my fucking jacket down, and I was standing outside with some friends, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. While I stand here, I'll hit my vape. And I hit my vape and hit my vape. And then we went and sat in the movie. Movie started, and my vape hit me, and I'm just like, oh, fuck. I am more stoned than I want to be. And the movie started, and I was just like, oh, Jesus Christ, this was a mistake. And I'll tell you what movie it was. It was Blonde. And that was the one of the that was fucking. That's why now I'm just like, you know what? Yeah, I'll watch the trailer, because that was the one I did not watch a trailer for, because I'm like, oh man, it's Andrew Dominic. He's gonna take care of me. This is his passion project, and I was just like, oh Jesus Christ, 10 minutes.
It was definitely not fucking Killing Them Softly. It was definitely a rough watch.
I don't think I saw that one, Blonde.
It's
3 hours, by the way.
Killing Them Softly, underrated. People should check that movie out.
I watch it once a year.
Danny, just to give you an idea, Blonde is about Marilyn Monroe, and it's 3 hours of her being brutalized in every way possible, in the most graphic ways possible.
Wow.
Mentally, physically, emotionally.
Yeah. Wait, who played her? That's okay. Yes, I know what we're talking about then. Yeah.
I say this, I don't care who you are, man, woman, trans, don't watch that shit. Like, just don't put yourself through that shit, bro.
Yeah. And like the fact that Andrew Dominic was so unapologetic, right? Or like had not that he had to be apologetic. he was
contemptuous.
just so
Yeah,
like,
man, he was so like
nonchalant.
every time you hear him
Right.
talk about Marilyn Monroe, I'm like, bro, why even make the movie? Like, you have nothing but contempt for this woman, and it fucking shows in your movie.
Right.
Calling her a well-dressed whore, I was just like, maybe you weren't the guy to make a movie about Marilyn Monroe, my guy.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, right, yeah.
I mean, we're all whores, Andrew. So be more specific.
Like, Jesus Christ.
You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how somebody who's constantly being abused is a whore, but you know, sure.
Right. Like,
It's a hot take.
I mean, yeah, it's she did what she had to do, but she was taken advantage of, right? Like she used her assets to make a career. But isn't that what we're all doing? Right? Like if you show up to your 9 to 5, like you don't want to do that. Right? But they pay you to do it. They pay you to fucking dance and put on the shoes and put on something sexy
Jesus
for them.
Christ.
Right? It's just a different type of sexy.
God. Yeah. Any more thoughts on Mickey 17 from you guys?
I mean, I think I'm good. I don't really have
See
anything
it.
to say.
Go see it.
Go out to a theater and see it.
Support the film,
I have
man.
a feeling once I see it again, it's probably gonna go from an 8 to an 8.5. Because, like I said, like one after walking out, I was like, "Oh, this is a strong 7," and then like a couple of days later, I was like, "Nah, this is an 8, bro."
Yeah, it's one of those movies that settles into you, right? Like you'll be thinking about this days later, and isn't that the testament of art, right?
Yeah, and getting to talk about it with other people, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It opens your eyes, like with the whole button thing, to things that maybe you didn't notice, and then it's like, oh shoot, man, I want to go back just to see that and catch these things myself. I think that's one of those movies for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna count all these motherfucking buttons.
There's like 7,000 buttons in that movie.
What if there are only 17 buttons?
Hey, I don't know if there are, but maybe you just be counting buttons on people's jackets and
Right.
stuff. Oh,
Yeah,
there's one.
like, well, that's a red button. That's a red button.
Yeah.
Yeah. See it. See the movie. Support them.
Yeah.
All right, and that is episode 153. Thanks, Danny. What do you want to plug?
Wait.
Oh, well, hey, I appreciate that. You guys can find me on, I guess my niche is physical media, so I'm trying to keep physical media alive. You can actually see some of it in the background. Blu-rays, 4Ks, reviews, supporting the movies. You can find me on Instagram at Blu-ray Dan. You can find me on TikTok at Dan in Real Life with underscores in between each. Feel free to check me out. If not for the movies, for the personality, and hang around where it's all good vibes.
Well, thank you for coming on, Danny.
Appreciate it.
Great. Look, anytime you want to come back on, dude, open invite.
Thank you so much for having me. I really do appreciate it.
No problem. That is episode 153.
We're the Film Blurs. I'm Brandon Norwood, and I'm the motherfucking protagonist.
I'm the protagonist.
I'm Jeff Stewart, a.k.a. He Who Remains.
Don't come at us. It's just fucking movies.
You've been listening to the Film Blurs podcast.
Man, I just love what you guys do, man.
I never miss an episode. It's the best. It's my favorite podcast.
Follow Jeff on IG on MindFire XL and Brandon on Twitter at BJN Tweets.